the coup d'etat army that our target areas that the target area destroy this mission. Good luck and annihilate the enemy army by destroying the target areas where the troops have amassed. Destroy all the target areas scattered throughout and take back the town. Mr. President, POWs are being transported in that cage. Destroy the cage with light firearms and rescue the people inside. Some scientists were among the POWs you rescued. They were used to develop new weapons for the military. Way to go, Mr. President! Now the POW can be safely liberated. The enemy forces have even captured San Francisco's cable cars. We can't let them get away with using the symbol of this great American city. A timed self-destruct device is attached to the cage. The destruct device kicks into action when you draw close for a fixed period of time. Be careful! The time limit self-destruct device has been activated. Hurry and destroy it! A A musician was among the POWs you rescued. He was forced to play the Chinese erhu. The POWs have been safely freed. The yellow icons on your radar are designated targets in each area. Destroy each target and blow the area to oblivion. Reinforcements come from the adjacent areas. When there are too many reinforcements, try attacking from another area. You could call it winning by retreating. Mr. President, the target area has been destroyed. This has been a momentous first job. The target with the spinning antenna is the enemy's communications facility. From this facility, when communications are made, large numbers of reinforcements join the battle. It's really a nuisance, so destroy it first. Mr. President, destroy every target area and annihilate the enemy army. Those annoying soldiers are coming in swarms. Shotguns with a wide firing area or machine guns with a high rapid fire rate are effective here. Try out the weapons in your backpack as you like.
This sequencer. This sequencer.
You succeeded in saving the POWs.
High-powered weapons like bazookas are effective against the tough tank armor. Please don't hold back on using the weapons in your backpack.
President, the POW rescue failed.
Mr. President, there are 5 areas remaining. Destroy them one after the other.
This. See and serve.
Mr. President, there are 3 areas remaining. Just a bit more, Mr. President. The enemy forces have usurped a building, making it a target.
The building was opened 2 years ago on April 25th.
Sample this.
Each season is decorated with gorgeous lights. Their Christmas tree tops them all. Over 800,000 people came to see it last December. For such a long time, I've been wondering how lovely that gorgeous building would look if it were destroyed. I feel bad for the owner, but hey, let's smash the hell out of it.
The suspiciously tall targets are enemy headquarter installations. The morale of the troops is rising due to the HQ installations. Destroy the HQ facilities first and eradicate their will to fight.
Now that's what I expect from a U.S. president. Nice thinking on your feet. That fat boy needs a presidential diet. I guess he's had too much junk food. Yeah, that kid's some too. Make junk food out of him, Mr. President.
Mr. President, the fuselage damage rate is above 50%. Enough playing around. How about bringing it up a notch? Mr. President, the fuselage damage rate is over 70%. Mr. President, the quickness in your step seems gone. Have you been getting enough sleep?
That boy's punishment seems to have done the trick. Just a little more and your work is done, Mr. President.
You're in danger, Mr. President. The fuselage damage level is at a breaking point, Mr. President. What do you plan to do?
this. Sequence serve. Sample this. Sequence serve. Sample this. This sequence serve. Sample this sequence serve.
guy is ready for the scrap heap. Let's send him to the demolition work. I almost forgot. I know a great demolition company in Anaheim. I'll introduce you next time, Mr. President. Wow! What a perfect display of your talents, Mr. President!
Not really, Jody. Nothing to get excited about.
The enemy forces in San Francisco have been annihilated. Nice work, Mr. President.
Sure.
All in a day's work, huh, Mr. President?
Nope, we've only just begun. The fight will continue. As long as the America inside my heart is still alive.
Mr. President, the Information Management Department received an email that might interest you.
An email?
Actually, it's a sound file.
Play it for me.
Yes, boss.
We are seeking volunteers to oppose the coup d'etat forces. Awaiting response from fellow sympathizers.
The sound quality is terrible. Could you try and contact the person who sent the email?
Sure, of course, boss.
Maybe America's faith in freedom hasn't faded just yet. And Jody, I'm taking back our country, going from west to east.
Go west. I mean, east, young man. Huh? Mr. President, we got a message from the Information Management Department. The coup d'etat forces are making an announcement on national television.
Connect me.
Dear fellow Americans, good evening. This is an announcement from the Government Policy Promotion Department, where the password is overflowing love and daily benevolence. Today, we bring you a most unfortunate bulletin. Last evening, the city of San Francisco suffered extensive damage at the hand of Metal Wolf, who suddenly appeared. In addition to slaughtering unresisting citizens, this heinous terrorist took citizens hostage and made an unjust demand for the release of violent criminals and the sum of $500 million. This vicious act could easily be the worst in U.S. history. Metal Wolf's pilot is meaner than Satan himself, and we will not permit him to get away with acts like this. We Americans will never yield to such evil. We Americans will obtain our own justice. Although martial law continues, my fellow Americans, please bear with our situation. To defend this lovable nation, let's lead the brave fight together. This has been an announcement from the Government Policy Promotion Department, where our motto, justice over theory, is your motto.
We've been made public enemy number one. How about seeking exile or asking for help from other nations?
No. I'm the president. I can't be the one to start a war in this country. I'll be the one to wage the war.
Mr. President.
Hey Jody, update me on the situation in the West.
On the prison island Alcatraz, only 3 kilometers offshore from San Francisco, the enemy force is setting up a huge electromagnetic Alcatraz cannon to combat terrorism. All the shelling in the desert region has implanted fear into the hearts of the people on the West Coast. The shelling is directed at keeping the dissidents in check. By destroying the energy tanks around the Alcatraz cannon, you can stop its operation. The current is so strong that no one has ever escaped from Alcatraz. Please, this mission goes by the call name Smash the Island Prison. Good luck and Godspeed, Mr. President. forces occupy Alcatraz Island.
Jody, what is that daunting thing?
The Alcatraz Cannon.
How original. Richard, you'd never make it on Madison Avenue.
Stop and surrender, Metal Wolf.
Surrender?
If you fail to comply, the Alcatraz cannon will zap you back west coast.
Will it now? Not if I zap it first.
Mr. President, the Alcatraz cannon just started to recharge.
I'm on the move. I'll smash it faster than a Florida recount.
A gun battery that big should take 5 minutes to recharge. Until then, head for the Alcatraz cannon in the center of the island. Is that?
This is DNN's Peter McDonald reporting. That's the heinous terrorist Metal Wolf, as seen from the air. He's trying to take over the Alcatraz cannon and destroy the West Coast. DNN is coming to you live and exclusively as these events unfold.
Forget him and keep your mind on the mission, Mr. President. Mr. President, that device also seems to supply energy to the Alcatraz cannon. You should destroy it in order to decrease the energy recharge supply. A musician was among the POWs you rescued. He was forced to perform to entertain the troops. Mr. President! A gun battery that big should take 5 minutes to recharge. Until then, head for the Alcatraz cannon in the center of the island. Forget him and keep your mind on the mission, Mr. President. Mr. President. Musician was among the POWs you rescued. He was forced to perform to entertain the troops.
The U.S. military is being decimated platoon after platoon.
What I wouldn't give for a fly swatter for this buzzing insect! strength is high against live ammunition. Mr. President, the Alcatraz cannon has been recharged 50%. Don't forget, when the going gets tough, the tough get going, Mr. President. The Alcatraz cannon has been recharged 80%. Didn't you say you'd smash them faster than a Florida recount? The Alcatraz cannon is suddenly climbing. There's no more time. Mr. President, the Alcatraz cannon has been fully recharged. You won't make it in time.
Metal Wolf, if you shoot, I'll hold it against you forever. Get us out of here!